good day to you wherever it is that you're listening or watching us from. You're listening to Splash 105.5, and we trust that your Saturday is going well. It is the Ladies Lounge, and we're super duper excited to have another conversation that you can relate with. The ladies are ready to get the ball rolling.
4 days to my birthday.
Oh, good.
I'm super excited and pumped about that.
You don't sound pumped.
I'm super excited and pumped.
Oh, good.
My name is Tumi S01E11. Welcome to the show.
Egbenusi Mike.
Yeah. My name is Folakemi. Mighty. Number one.
Your name, Mom.
I am Ibukunluwa Olagunju, but you can call me Omajuwa. I have to give you the long one.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So today we're talking about something that we believe that whether you're male, whether you're female, whatever your age is, you can actually relate with. You know how whether you're conversing with your parents or friends or colleagues, whatever the dynamics might be, and they tell one certain thing or things, and they say, oh, I'm just being blunt though, you know I love you, so I have to tell you the truth. And you find out that as much as one would define some of these things as being helpful, they've also been damaging for some people as well. You find some people say that, oh, okay, I'm this way, whether protective, among other things, or defensive. Some, if you ask them, because of what this person has said to me, because of how this person has done this to me. So we thought about the need to talk about the difference between being blunt, being direct, and being rude or mean to people. How does one, find that thin line, or is there even a line between, the two?
Of course, I would say there's a line. There's an obvious line between being rude. I don't think it's even thin. I think it's very fat. Okay. Except you don't want to see it. I think you should know when you're being mean and when you're being kind. And I think that's where we find out that there's something called constructive criticism and there's the destructive kind. Because if you're looking at someone, because oftentimes when people say they want to tell you the truth, it's probably because of something you've done and they think you did not do right, and they're trying to look for a better way they can, or for you to do it. And then one way for them to do it would be to say, oh, I wish you didn't do that. It looks like this and this when you did that. Rather than say, oh, how about you do it this way? What do you think about doing it this other way?
So,
shout out to
Boss
Mr. B needs to be arrested.
You also had to feature on Ladies Lounge today because you entered.
You're welcome.
You just changed our countenances.
We're happy to have you, don't worry.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, you look good. So, there's a difference between trying to tell someone to find a better way of doing things and trying to tell someone that what you're doing is actually the worst way to do it. So it's just, I think it says a lot about somebody's background and how they grew.
Background? Are we going to say background?
Yes.
Well, maybe I want to come from instances. There have been times. There have been times that I found one or two people who said things to me too directly and in an unkind way, and I felt like. Exactly. Did we have a pending quarrel or grudges? So for me, I also want to say that there is a difference, but sometimes it's not being mean. It's just being very, very blunt.
But what is being blunt? Like Killer Day?
I think.
Why will you be blunt?
I think we should actually talk about what are the things you said it was hurtful for you, especially the manner in which that person said it. For it not to be hurtful, because you didn't mind the fact that person told you that. You were not so cool with how.
A better way.
Yeah. So what are those things that you think should be put into consideration to maybe be able to get the message across without being hurtful?
Thank you. Now this instance is coming to me. I hope it's also very relevant. And that's some 2 years ago when I lost my mom. God rest her soul. And then someone said just about 2 days after my mom, my dear mother, after she passed, this person told me that I have mourned enough. He said because mom actually passed from uremia. So we had been taking care of her for like 2 years and some 5 months. So he felt, I wish I could mention this thing.
Mention, because how is it your business that somebody is mourning?
He said this was enough and I needed to move on and plan the burial. It was the truth, really. but it shouldn't.
I beg to differ. No, before we move, I'm going to dissect this particular instance.
Okay.
Because first of all, there are some things that are just none of your business, even if you are the husband. Because we're talking about something as sensitive as grief, and you didn't lose this person. Like, okay, maybe you guys just fall out. This person is dead.
Exactly.
You don't, and this person is not even just a random person. Your mother that murdered you.
Yes.
No. Let the people that want to mourn.
Exactly. And then he came and said that and it was enough.
No.
I wasn't like, okay, if you're not man enough to how do you say it? To comfort someone.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have maybe this is just a lesson, by the way. If you don't know what to say when people lose their loved ones, just keep silent.
Just be there in
To be honest,
silence. That may be all they
But
need.
for you to open your vocal cavity and then let that thing come out of your mouth and say that that was not only blunt, it was mean.
So you would say that what you would have needed at that time was sensitivity to your feelings.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. I feel like
I don't want you to hurt so much, maybe, or I don't want you to cry too much, or when you cry, you know the way I feel, or maybe, of course, this person was just my friend anyways, not like I was dating or it was my husband, but you would have said it in a more kind way, not telling me that was too blunt. That's one of an instances that I actually do not. I still remember till now.
Now I want to go to the dictionary definition of being blunt. Being blunt is of a person or remark, and it is uncompromisingly forthright. You know, a blunt statement of act. Now, when you're blunt, I mean, people hide under, I don't care for how you take it. I said what I said. I mean, if you're saying what you're saying, I'd rather you say it about somebody else, and you don't look at me and say it, because I would almost rip off your wig from your head when you're trying to say, when you're trying to say something to me because you feel like, oh, it's the best way to say it. So for example, you see someone dressed in a certain way and you feel like they would have maybe fitted something better. I feel like there are ways you say it, like, oh, this looks so good, but next time you can try this or try that. Not because words go really far, and I know they say hurt people. Well, me that I'm not hurt. If you hurt me, I will hurt you back. That's the thing. I'm serious, because I won't make excuses for you. I might even try to make sense of it, but my emotions. So you've told me that I look like an older person, or I look like I'm 80 years old, and every time I look at myself in the mirror, it might just be playing in my head. Now the reason I said this is the way some people grew up is. So imagine that you grew up in a household where maybe because of how many things you had to do, you learned to eat fast. You know how they say, did you go to boarding school? These are boarding schools people eat and stuff like that. There are ways you help someone, correct that trait. There's a way you help someone get out of it. Not, are they pursuing you? Why are you eating like this? So imagine you're on a table, a long table, dining with your friends, and then look at it, how would you feel comfortable to even, your hands will be shaking.
There's another instance, my former workplace. There's this young guy that, of course, the way you crush your radio presenter.
Please don't say his name start with B. Please don't say.
It's not me.
Okay.
So this guy had been crushing on me and saying, Folakemi my team. And then he had a chance to come to the studio. I think one of those shows.
The listener.
A listener. So he had the chance to come to the studio to feature. And immediately he opened it and he said, you are this old.
Just so bammy.
I swear that was the way he said it. And he said, look at me, and I've been crushing. The guy was an undergraduate. Maybe was a 200 levels guy. So he said, so you are this old. So this is me, and I've been crushing on you. I honestly knew that he didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it that way.
You understand?
Yeah.
But the word old made me feel like it made
me
feel like,
really?
And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, okay, well, I'm sure it's not about the mood.
Yeah.
And immediately you had to put
to add to the first point that we brought out, the second thing that for me would be the demarcation in not making that hurtful would be showing empathy. Sometimes when you're able to put yourself in that person's shoe, it gives a better understanding, because really that guy really is, like he said, he was in 200 left. So you're really old to him. That does not mean that you're old as a person, because he's thinking maybe he's coming to come and meet maybe a fresh graduate or somebody that is probably close to his age and everything. That does not mean that you're old. But then if he was able to show some level of empathy. He may have said, "Oh, I didn't know you're my big sister," or "Your own."
No, come on, let me something. So this is it. If you say that to an overthinker, don't worry. It's the same.
But that would be no. But that would be
it will be such.
Do you know why I said? I get you, but do you know why I said that would be? For instance, if it was said
that
to
would
me,
be
that would be on me.
To
the fact that I didn't work on myself.
For that person, I would even excuse ignorance. I would excuse that. Okay, he's just meeting me. He's in between starstruck, disappointed, want to express his feelings, and then he didn't know what to say. So it's just the way as somebody looks at you like, they're just, huh? So you're not trying to read the expression, but he just, so you're this old, like, oh my God, I'm disappointed. Maybe I told all my friends I'm going to meet my girlfriend, and then now I'll take a picture with you, and then they will know that you're definitely older than I am. I will excuse that. He was being ignorant. He did not know how to react. I'll take that over. I think we should narrow it down a little bit. Now let's take it away from random people saying it to you. Let's bring it home to your family members, your friends, your so-called friends saying it to you. When they say those mean comments to you, how does it feel?
Well, what if you actually, excuse me to say this, deserve it? Imagine like my sister-in-law tells me that Allah shade you.
Okay. There are some times when firmness is needed, and oftentimes it is usually needed when it has been said over time. So there's been that subtle warning so they're not taking serious.
Can excuse being blunt that way, right?
Because you are being and you
no wait
there's a way that they say that komoju komora. So let's say it directly. And also Yoruba will say pelela ko labu. Because in case you don't understand Yoruba, there's female and there's male that's transliteration.
Negative or positive communication.
Yeah. Because really, as much as we can say, maybe you have to be able to communicate that person. I mean, communicate with whatever you want to say to that person. 5 + 1 is not the only way to 6. It can be 3 + 3, it can be 4 + 2.
But what I'm still saying is that even if you've done something repeatedly, as long as that action does not directly affect me, you don't deserve my being blunt. I don't know if you get my mind. You know what I'm saying? That when it comes to your friends, so for example, maybe I keep dating the wrong kind of person, and then you've told me, hey, to me, who these people they are following, you break your heart. So you know say, well, you say this, but we still make you, or you say, that's what you used to do. That's why like 5 people will sleep with you. Just say something mean because you feel like that's one way to sink it in. It's as long as it does not affect me directly. If I have a friend that I feel like this thing this person keeps doing does not make sense, but as long as they are able to see good in it, I'll just lend my own voice. Like, how about you change how you're doing this? How about you try this way? But I will not make you feel bad. I will not tell you that. See, go. They will still sleep with you again and leave you. That's
one of the things I love.
That's heartbreaking.
One of the things I love about all of this is that intention. One factor cannot be the only one. All these factors work together. And the next one I can think of right now is the intention behind whatever is being said. Sometimes when your intention is pure, when your intention is from a place of love, there's a way that you are intentional with maybe your choice of word. Also the timing too. Yeah. Because when you say certain things it's also as important as how you say it to people.
And when you say them too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That when you say it, it's important as how you say it. So when it's coming from a place of love, there's a way that you're able to. But when it's malicious, that's when you say, I'm blunt though. You know, go and check your character.
That kind of thing. Like if I'm saying something to you, you deserve what?
Maybe going back to hurtful people hurt, or hurting people hurt. People who say that kind of thing, most of them they can't take it.
Yeah,
people who go blunt on others. Most of them they cannot. They will call you back immediately and tell you that you don't talk to me like that.
And now, or they should go and be crying.
It's important for everyone. I mean, life is intentionality. It's important for everybody to be conscious and maybe. Permit me to say think before you talk.
Honestly, no.
Also, since we are nailing it on the
since we are being blunt,
sometimes you are not blunt. Sometimes you are just rude.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're just mannerless.
You're just saucy.
Because some people say, I'm blunt. I say it the way. No, you lack manners. So own needs and work on yourself in learning how to communicate to people.
There's a difference between obaje gone and otoro lo den so. Me we take obaje every other time. Like auntie, no, don't worry, this one no be say you're trying to make sense. Because what are you Because when you think about it, what exactly are you trying to shape in this person? You see people say things to somebody and low-key, they're even guilty of the same thing. So you that are trying to judge somebody else, because sometimes it comes from a place of judgment. That's why I'm blunt. So you that are trying to judge somebody else, have you looked at your own? Even I think it's in the Bible that before you remove the stone of somebody else, go first carry out the log of wood that is blocking your own, that is making you not see yourself. Honestly, because it's easier to point accusing fingers than to even look at yourself. You say someone doesn't dress well. They combine your own color. But let's move on.
You are still listening to Splash 105.5, and of course it is Ladies Lounge. So today we're talking about the difference between being blunt and being mean. And before we went on that break, Tumi was talking about looking at oneself before trying to check other people. And that got me thinking about some people that say certain things in consolation to whatever it is that they're going through. You know how they say that some people will sit in the corner of their house with their 10 MB and then they will be abusing
12 MB.
12 MB. And they will be abusing some people online.
Keep out worrying.
Yeah, Jiga. Sometimes just to make themselves feel better, they
about
try
whatever
to.
It is they are going through.
Yeah.
But you should not bleed on people that didn't cut you. That's what I'm saying. That if anything, I'm still saying it. If whatever you think is wrong is not directly affecting you, don't carry your blunt self to me. Because toba ba mi ma gba e, like toba she nonsense, marry nonsense.
Oh my God! Something like that.
No, it's true. So why not, find a better way? I mean, practice kindness. That's why I'm more of don't post about this thing if you will not do it. I mean, people post a lot about and treat people with respect, and now you gonna they disrespectful.
So before we wrap up too, I want us to touch on how to handle people that are like this. But before we do that, so we all agree that no matter how powerful that message is, no matter how much you think you care about that person, you can find a great way that will not hurt that person to say it.
And the ground for empathy is very important. It's not nice.
Record it in your WhatsApp and play it and listen to the nonsense you are saying before you send it to somebody else.
And also the timing matters too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how to handle such people, because I know that we've had one or two of such people in our corner. How do I handle somebody that comes to me and says, Omajuwa, you are now as fat as I'm looking for something awful.
Omajuwa, maybe you are eating.
Something that's none of that person's business.
Someone said it to someone in this building right in front of me. So this lady is on the bigger side, and then because she was eating egg roll, and then someone said,
I mean, that's please send me the address of that person after the show.
And it really affected her. So my point here is that you should not just say things to people. That's what I'm saying. Play the nonsense you want to say, record it, and now play it.
That's if you know that it's a nonsense. And I think one of the ways to know whether it's good, what you're saying is or not, is that one or two times, except you're in the circle of the same set of people, they would have told you that you don't know how to talk. This is not how to say it to people and all of that.
Everybody.
I know the problem with people who are very blunt and mean. They do not have. There's no caution. They say it to the younger people, older people, their mate and all of that, which is, and people like that, they find it hard to even take it. They find it hard to take such things. So for me, going back to what Omajuwa asked, how to treat people like that. First, if there are people you can immediately
cut off.
I mean, not necessarily like the person who said that to me about my mom. I told him, I don't like this that you just said. Maybe you should just start to go. And I made him know it was what he said that wants to make me to say, please, can you just start to go? And I told him it's because you still have a mom. If you
don't know what it feels like.
You don't know what it feels like. And he apologized, honestly, almost immediately. But I knew that I didn't mean, because after even the apology, still said it. People will say, but this is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying what you told me is hurtful. And then you're still saying that you didn't mean it, but you're still saying it.
So
for people like that, just for you to feel good, just tell them you are not happy with what this person said and you wouldn't want it to be said to you in that way.
And I feel like if it keeps recurring, then I think it's grounds.
It's okay for you to sanitize them. They are germs.
You can avoid them.
So for me, if you're in my corner and you are constantly found making very snide jokes or making very toxic comments, you're going to stop knowing things about me. I mean, what you don't have, you can't use against me, yeah?
The little they know, they see you.
So, no, the little you know, even you will know is baseless. Because when you want to open your mouth and talk, you know, it's either it's old story or it's just nonsense. Like, you will know. When you notice that I stopped telling you things I used to tell you, you will know that you've made some stupid comments in the past.
And for me, another thing would be making those boundaries obvious and audible.
Yes.
If you're saying it, I'm checking you. I don't like what you said. And over time, the person cannot even continue.
So for that reason, I'm going to be doing this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's someone you can say that to, although there are some people, there are some similarly elderly people, older people that you might not be able to say to their faces like that. But if they are exactly.
Cut them.
There are some people that will tell that I don't like you to talk to me this way. I mean, I'm already in that level, maybe. That I can tell almost everyone, maybe with so much respect, that please don't.
Without due respect, though.
I have people who remind me of my marital status every time, you know, or maybe I had, and I will tell you,
it's none of your business, man.
Emma Sobe anymore. I don't like it, and all of that. Or I won't pick your call anymore.
Yeah,
do you understand?
You just stop knowing things. Like you just say, so
there's a particular person that is always on my neck, and I told her that, Auntie, me ni might be calling more, Auntie, blah 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 blah, and she has stopped it.
You know, this mighty angle got me thinking about some people, because we're talking about people that are in a close circle. Sometimes, for instance, it could be someone as close as a mother, someone as close as a sister. Sometimes, one has to understand that as much as you're trying to save that relationship, as much as you're trying to respect them, also remember that you deserve to be respected. You deserve to be honored as well. So if they're not ready to respect your boundaries, maybe there's a need to. You may not be able to cut them because they're your family, but you can cut that relation. When they see that you're cold, you are not entertaining the things that you used to entertain. If they have quote and unquote, if they're sensible, they will be able to decode
enough. They will and maybe you can also reestablish those boundaries. I mean, I always say it. Your boundaries, you have them. People either like you, people either hate you for having them,
but they know it's there,
or they respect that you have them. But the most important thing, which is for me the underlying truth, is that they know that those boundaries exist. So if you have to reestablish those boundaries, and this is not to say, because you know there's a place of people who don't know how to take comments, but as long as someone has told you they don't like it, either they cannot take a joke or not, that's their problem. But do not repeat it. Like, don't try to that's where you will now see crazy. So,
and if you think as much as at the beginning
you want to say crazy,
honestly, at the beginning we justified it by saying that maybe it's coming from a place of love. If you think that's coming from a place of love, and I tell you that even if it's coming from a place of love, and I tell you that I do not appreciate it, keep the love.
Keep it that way.
I have enough love.
Put your love in your pocket.
Yeah.
And I think parents too, because sometimes I feel like parents don't mind these things. You see your children say things, no.
But I think new parents are learning a lot of things on this.
New parents, new parents even allow their children to insult them and post it online. Are you kidding?
Well, there are new parents and there are new parents.
So I'm saying that parents too should know. Don't, maybe my daughter now says that mommy see how fat you are. I will not go post like it's bills.
Don't encourage all those things.
Because
it's very important.
That child grows up to feel like it's normal. Maybe I did it and we blew on TikTok. So why can't we now do it?
Just in case some your body is pricking, you're itching, and you just want to drop your comment. You're open. And we're sorry we couldn't read the past comments that we had last week. But while Omajuwa is trying to check and to know that there's no time, please do well.
We promise that we'll try as much as possible to take all your comments next week.
Yes, please do well to drop your comments on our social media platforms. Our Facebook is there, Instagram, and we're of course on YouTube and all of that.
And the full video will be live on YouTube at Splash FM 1055. If you just tuned in, you can catch up with the full video right there.
So my name is Lara Ademujimi. See you next week after my birthday.
Oh God. I am Omajuwa.
Happy birthday to you in
advance.
Thank you. My name is Folakemi and Tumi.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Bye.